and your local SuperTalk Mississippi radio station. And you can watch us. We are on your computer, your mobile device. Just head on over to SuperTalk TV. And as you know, the Mississippi Aquarium has celebrated the historic hatching of the first penguin chicks. And joining us today is Kurt Allen, President and CEO of the Mississippi Aquarium, to give us an update on their new furry little friends. Hey, Kurt.
How are you today?
I'm super excited. We've been talking about your chicks and excited about your chicks. And so how are the chicks doing today?
They are doing awesome. It seems like you could watch them grow. They're growing that fast. So they were born during the snowstorm, so that was just a couple of weeks ago, at about 70 grams, which is pretty light, and they're up over 2.2 pounds already. So they are just growing like weeds, as we say.
So what are we feeding them? We know Mississippi mamas like to fatten up their babies. So what are we feeding our little penguins?
Yeah, so we let the parents do all the work so far, and so the parents are eating their fish, and then they like to do a little something we call regurgitation, and then they feed that back down to the chicks. So they're getting their calories and food right from the parents, and the parents are getting it right from us, from the food source we give them, some fresh seafood.
Is it fascinating to watch, like, parents? I know they would have been in the wild, and that's how, species go on forever. But to see it in action, to know that two animal penguins, male and female, can make these babies and then take care of them, right? Like, they really don't need your help. I mean, they do. They need access to it all. But, like, they've got it under control. To me, it's fascinating.
It is, and that's, millions of years of evolution and having them do it over and over and over, and we see that happen in species all around the world, and it is fascinating, and, it's those kind of things that keep us in the industry that we are in, just so that we can be fascinated by these species.
Kurt, everybody likes a baby, but even when we have, like, the Hattiesburg Zoo on or the aquarium and you guys have births there, yes, it's sweet, but it's bigger picture, and it's part of your mission. So, like, what also does this mean going right there at the aquarium for you guys to have successful hatchings of penguins?
Yeah, the three pillars that we've built our company on are education, conservation, and community, and this really hits all three of our pillars. And for us to say these are the first penguins ever born in the state of Mississippi, I think is a big deal, and I think everybody around the state should be very proud of us being able to say that. It's a cool feat. But what it really means is that we're part of a worldwide network of trying to save these species. This species, the South African black-footed penguins, also called jackass penguins because of the noise they make, are... Can
I call my kids that because of the noise they make?
It's funny to listen to them because it sounds just like a donkey. But these animals were just uplisted to critically endangered, and in the wild there's only about 8,500 breeding pairs left from the hundreds of thousands of breeding pairs just a handful of years ago. And so right now it's estimated that these animals will go extinct in the wild by 2035. That's
wow.
That's only 10 years from now that these animals will no longer be successfully breeding in the wild. So we're a little part of the solution, just as well as all of our peers and counterparts around the world that have this species that are breeding. The nice thing is this animal is one that's relatively easy to hold in human care, and they breed very well. So as we continue to breed, we continue to try to look for options on how to save the species. And there's some great organizations down in South Africa that work every single day trying to do just that.
So these chicks, were they both from the same parents? Or I know it's two chicks that come from a different egg, or was it four parents total that made these chicks?
Yeah, what's really interesting is normally penguins will have two eggs. There's an alpha egg and a beta egg, and usually only one will survive. And so we had a couple of pairs that bred, and we keep an eye. Not all of our penguins can breed with each other, so when they pair up, we need to make sure we know the genetics of the parents. And so the parents that laid these eggs, they actually laid the two, and we had another pair that laid eggs that were not successful. So we actually pulled the egg from the other pair, took the beta egg and gave it to the other pair, and they actually foster cared for it all the way through birth, and they're still foster parenting the second chick. So both of the chicks are from the same parents, so they are siblings, but they're being raised by two separate pairs of parents.
Oh, I love that.
Kind of a cool story, yeah.
Yeah, and it takes a community in all aspects of nature. Okay, so I know that we didn't know what they were in terms of gender. I guess in the penguin world, it takes a minute for things just drop, for a better way of describing it?
Well, yeah, and we don't try to go in and handle penguins, and when they're that small, we'll go in and handle them and weigh them, but we try not to do a whole lot of other handling. So we'll wait until they get a little bigger, until we decide on the genders. We'll take a look, and then we're still deciding how we're going to do names, whether we would love to get a sponsor to come in and potentially name our penguins, as we're trying to raise money for a new habitat for them, or we could do a naming contest. We're just not sure what we're going to do yet. We're still putting the plans together on the kind of the marketing plan for having baby penguins, but that's all to come in the near future.
Y'all do have big plans for penguins there at the Mississippi Aquarium. You mentioned, still trying to raise those funds. Like, looking out, what do you see, Kirk, when the money comes rolling in or finally gets there? Like, what does the Mississippi Aquarium want to do for their penguins?
Yeah, we've already got the habitat designed. The current budget is about $9 million, and we've got about $7.2 in the bank. So we're looking to finish and fill that gap. And what I'd really like is for corporations from around the state to kind of pitch in and showcase the business community that we have in Mississippi, and show that as 250 or 300,000 people come to the aquarium, they could look at all of the names that can contribute to this exhibit and say, man, this is a great place to do business, because you never know who's going to be walking through our attraction and what they may be able to bring to the great state of Mississippi. So, the Caterpillars and the Toyotas and the Nissans and the Continental Tires and all of those great companies around the state, it would be great to have everybody pitch in and help us fill that gap. And as soon as we do that, we can put a shovel in the ground and get this thing going. It's a beautiful indoor exhibit. You'd be able to see all the penguins, and we would continue our breeding program to try to help these animals out.
Are there any other specific breeding programs, Kurt, that's going on at the Mississippi Aquarium? I know we're excited about the first ever penguins, but I know you guys do other work with other species.
Yeah, most of our animals are just pretty natural, so occasionally we'll get some birds that are breeding. Alligators will actually lay some nests. Trying to think of all the different ones we have.
When you talk about your fun exhibits, one of the favorite of my daughters, they stayed there for maybe 30 minutes and watching the octopus. When you go into the he or she, I don't know. Do you know, like at the big red octopus, is it a he or she? Or
it's a male, and his name's Bubble Wrap.
Is it? Okay. Well, he was out and giving us a good show the day that we came, and you can go under the little hidey hole and sort of see him up close. And some of my favorite photos, Kurt, there, is like he's spread really big on the wall there, and you can get up and sort of really see really close up all of his little tentacles and stuff like that, just stuff you don't get anywhere else.
He is a fan favorite, especially because the kids can go kind of inside the exhibit in that little pop-up window that we have. But he is one of the most active giant Pacific octopuses that our team has ever seen. He is so interactive. We keep him stimulated. We give him toys to play with. We make him unscrew lids to get to his food. They're very, very smart. So they are very, very neat animals, very smart animals. So they are certainly a fan favorite for the people that come here.
I think you need baby octopus. You call them octopi. I don't know the
octopi. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Just putting that, if you're not busy enough, Kurt, with all the other great things going on at the Mississippi Aquarium, slide that in. Spring break's coming up for schools across Mississippi. If parents are looking for staycations, vacations, thinking about the Mississippi Aquarium would be a good idea, correct?
Yeah, there's so much to do on the coast, and every spring break season we see people coming from all over the region. Usually North Mississippi is kind of the first spring breakers, and we see them coming down, and then it kind of trickles down through the state. So we see a good 6 to 8 weeks of spring breakers coming down. There's a lot to do for your families down on the coast, and you really can have a great adventure when you come down here for a couple of days. Are
probably not the baby penguins, but are there penguins out for people to see if they come to the aquarium now, or is that still held for the future?
Yeah, it's still held on the future. We do penguin encounters, so if you want to meet a penguin, we actually do that on campus that you can sign up through the website. So that right now is the only way we do our penguin showings, is if you can do a private encounter with them. We do up to either 8 or 12 people at a time. So we do that. We did have Penguin Awareness Day 2 weeks ago, and we had them on campus. So every now and then we'll bring them on campus and do pictures and other things, and those are all those events are listed on the the website as they pop up.
You make sure that those penguin parents get a nice Valentine's meal tomorrow and a little break from the little donkey sound making penguins.
Yeah. No, the parents are doing great. And they need to learn how to be parents because this is the first time they're parents, and so we keep an eye on them, and they're just doing a great job right now.
Well, Kurt, I appreciate your time here on Good Things. Look forward to talking about other hatchings and exciting things that are happening at the Mississippi Aquarium in the future.
Sounds great. Good talking to you.
All righty, you guys stick with us. We got more for you coming up next.